Ian Hudson, SNP, MEP, a breakthrough, a deal on mackerel. What do you make of what's been agreed?
Well, I've said from the start of this very long dispute that the deal would have to be done round the table rather than in any other way, and that's what's happened. At last we'll have some progress in the form of an agreement between three of the parties concerned, and while in principle that is better than not having a deal and stumbling on to another 4 years of stalemate, clearly things have had to happen that have given way partly on what would have been our share of quota. So, good that we have progress, good that the stocks are in such a healthy state that the lower percentage will actually bring more fish to the Scots fleet. But the fact that the stocks are in good health is largely because of the recent years of very good management by Scots fishers and others. So we are looking to maintain these stocks in good health, and that I think has to be the basis of everybody's aspiration for the future.
Do you think the EU has given away too much, or do you think it was a price that had to be paid to reach a compromise, and obviously so far only with Faroes, not yet with Iceland?
Well, clearly something had to give in some direction or stalemate would continue. What we've been dealing with here is an illustration of, if you like, the power of independent countries who control their own fishing waters against the EU and its attempt to try and do a centralised kind of deal for everybody through the common fisheries policy. We've had decades in Scotland of the CFP managing just about everything that our fishermen are allowed to do or not to do, and yet the whole of the European Union's might didn't have the power to force Iceland to take part in this deal. So clearly that's a discussion that has to continue, and we need to take account of the fact, and it is a fact, that Iceland does control its own waters and is entitled to fish in its own waters, which is what is happening.
Do you think then that this represents a good or a bad deal overall for Scottish fishermen waking up this morning?
Well, I think overall there will be a sense of disappointment that something of ours had to be given away. But I think in the long term what we now have is the ability to fish again, knowing that there is an agreement, at least on the part of three major players in the fishery, about managing for the long-term future, and that's in everyone's interest. But also this deal, I think, has freed up the blockage on other parts of EU-Norway talks on other stocks, whitefish and others, which are also key to Scotland. So we needed to make progress on that as well, and hopefully in the not too distant future, as built upon this agreement, again we'll have access to Faroese waters for Scottish whitefish boats, which has been blocked as well because of the stalemate. So there are benefits, and I think it's better to have a deal than not have a deal. I think that has to be the bottom line.
Just finally then, to wrap up, is this crisis now over? It's taken 4 years. Do you think this is the end that we've been waiting for all that time?
Well, this is a deal that should last 5 years at least, that's the terms under which the deal was done, as I understand it. So that at least provides a certain element of stability, which is very important. But mackerel is a migratory stock. It moves around a lot, and there is clear evidence that changing water temperatures have changed the pattern of migration, and that may well happen again in the future in one direction or another, and it may have to be taken account of in future deals of this nature.